Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 8 at Keeneland on Friday. It's the $200,000 Myrtlewood Stakes. Some very talented 2-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile. They're speedy, they're precocious, they're promising, and we'll get to them in a second after I tell you about this deal. 10% off all DRF past performances. Coupon code is DRFTV10. Access. Shop now, use the QR code. Here's the field for the Myrtlewood. Again, it's a giant field at Keeneland. 12 2-year-old fillies looking to take that next step up the ladder. And the number 10, Trust Fund Filly, was a debut winner for Peter Urton. Did it on a sloppy track and did it from rating off the pace.
Yeah, got a solid figure for that race, Dan. It did come over a wet track, so you have that to deal with if you're going to take a short price on this filly, but nothing to knock about a career debut.
There should be some speed in this race. Heck, these are precocious 2-year-olds. We throw up our Timeform US pace projector. There it is. Red Bar, fast pace. White Sands has shown big speed in all 3 starts, even against the boys in the Best Pal last time out. The finish wasn't there, but she was facing some real quick ones. Empirical Mischief, the number 9, another horse with good speed, coming off a win at Keeneland. Praying just went gate to wire at Horseshoe Indianapolis, but Andrea hasn't been headed from 2 lifetime starts. Long Neck Paula has tactical speed. There's a lot of gas in here.
Feels like this pace is certain to be fast. We'll see how it all plays out, Dan. I think one thing that we should note, right off the bat here is that Wesley Ward has 2. You expect both of them to show speed, the 4 and the 12. They're also both entered into a race Saturday against the boys. I'm assuming one of them is going to scratch and run there. I just don't know which one.
Let's take a look at Mischievous Bria. This is an Iowa bred who won her career debut at Prairie Meadows. And then last time out finished second against States bred. She was odds on in this race and just couldn't get to the winner, who seemed to always have her number in the stretch.
Yeah, she's just only second best in this race at a really short price. I guess the winner did get to the lead on her in here, Dan, but it's not like this is a super strong finish at the edge. She doesn't even make it close. A good lesson there and not really paying too much attention to buyer speed figures, especially with young horses like that, because the winner won her debut with a 33 buyer and then just steps up into that race and wires him with a 74.
The number 2 is Glee. We go from an Iowa bred to a Texas bred, and Glee, the Texas bred, won at Oklahoma last time out at Remington Park. This is a stakes race going 6.5 furlongs. She went to the lead. She disdainfully dispatched her primary pace pursuer, and she's off to the races.
She's looked really good in her 2 wins when they had her in against sort of overmatched horses, Dan. The 2 races in between there where they tried some tougher competition, it didn't really go that well. I know that she was second 2 starts back, but Long Neck Paula, who's also entered back in this race, just absolutely buried her.
Rusty Arnold has some very promising 2-year-olds this year, and one of them is the 3, Echo Sound. She's won both starts, including her most recent effort at Churchill, going 3/4 of a mile. She has tactical speed, but she's not speed crazy, which means she can sit a trip from just off the lead, and both of those buyer speed figures very respectable.
Agree. I mean, I don't think there's anything to knock about this horse. I don't see why she wouldn't be a major contender in here. Irad's going to take them out this time, and she's moving up in class, Dan, but she's not moving up to face a bunch of killers. Her figures fit right in with these horses, and she does seem to be tactical.
White Sands, the number 4, is kin to Jackie's Warrior, who was a top sprinter, and this one showed that kind of speed in her first 2 starts, winning both by open lengths, including against the boys at Prairie Meadows 2 starts back. They tested her last time out in the Grade 3 Best Pal. Getaway car just ran second in the Grade 1 American Pharaoh, going 2 turns. White Sands couldn't make the lead there, and maybe they just threw some speed at her and she wasn't ready for it. If she runs here, little class relief.
A lot of class relief if she runs here. The other thing, just going back and watching that Best Pal, considering that race scratched down to 4, not sure why Ward even bothered to send her out there. If they were going to ride her that way, because she broke fine. They didn't even try to make the lead with her, Dan. They just took a hold of her. They put her in behind Getaway Car, who was 1-5, jammed her in behind that horse on the lead. She gets in tight into the far turn. She steadies. She loses several lengths and then has to try to chase from there. She had absolutely no chance in that race.
Dancing Magic, the 5, was a beaten favorite at Colonial 2 starts back, but the winner of that race has some promise. I think she came back and ran an even 4th in the Alcibiades at Keeneland. She then dropped to a first level allowance here, going 3/4 of a mile 3 weeks ago. She saved ground in behind the lead. She gets to the outside. She willingly runs into second at the end. I think she's a really professional filly that's learning how to pass horses. Her career debut was her only win, and that was a speedball performance at Hawthorne. She might get the right setup in a race like this. And listen, that 78 buyer from the last race, if you believe it, it puts her in the mix at a price.
I agree. And I think that's the way that you laid it out before, even before that figure, then I think is a great way to look at her. And then she has that race that we just watched there, which to me is a really good performance. I mean, we'll see how, you never know how it's all going to shake out, but that horse that won that race has a chance to be really good. And she was cutting into the margin pretty nicely there at the end.
Praying, the number 6, really found a great spot last time out at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, and the daughter of super first crop sire Vacoma made them pay. Let's watch Praying, who cleared to the lead after the opening quarter of a mile. Cruz is into the stretch under a hand ride and is going to open up inside the 3/16. She wins by 7. She gets a very strong 79 buyer speed figure. She's on the board in all 3 starts. I don't know what she beat in this field.
It doesn't seem like she beat anything. She's 1-5. She wins like it, but I think you have to respect the progression that she's made from start to start. If I'm being honest, I don't love either of her first 2 starts, and I don't know how much credit I want to give her for that one we just watched, but I won't knock her too much. I mean, she's run fine all 3 times.
Barbarino also comes off an odds-on maiden victory at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, but that race was going 5/8 on the grass. Now, she's only raced once on dirt in her career, but she was 25-1. She showed brief speed and tired. Right now, the evidence seems to indicate she's a turf horse. I guess we'll find out. This is a tough spot.
Yeah, I think her connections probably want to find out too here if she's any good on dirt at all. The debut obviously isn't great, but maybe you don't have to hold it against her too much. She'll be a huge price again.
Can't knock anything the 8 Andrea's done in her career for Safi Joseph. Blowout debut winner going 5.5. They stretched her out to a 1-turn mile. She had to deal with a little bit of a wet track, and guess what? She went right to the front again, and she won that race very easily. I don't mind her cutting back to 6. The issue is she's going to be facing probably the toughest pace scenario of her career.
Yeah, that was the thing that concerned me about her too. I do feel like the 6-1. They have her pegged to 6-1. That seems like a very fair price if you want to take a shot here. She has looked really good winning both of those starts. I do think this is going to be way tougher for her, but there are things to like about this horse. That seems like a fair price to me.
Empirical Mischief was a winner 3 starts back on the lead at Ellis Park. They tried to stretch her out and step her up against Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies bound La Cara and the Grade 3 Pocahontas. That didn't work out. And then last time out, she finished behind Dancing Magic. We saw her on the lead there, and she tired pretty badly. She's going to have to do a little bit more because her game is speed. Others in here might have more speed and might have more quality speed as of right now.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot working against this horse. And out of that most recent start here at Keeneland, you probably want Dancing Magic.
Trust Fund Filly ran just fine in her debut at Churchill Downs. I understand why she's the 3-1 morning line favorite. She had to deal with testing sloppy track conditions. She rated very kindly off the pace, came around them all in the stretch, and looked very professional. And it was a fast race, a 78 buyer speed figure. Now she might have to do it on dry ground, but it's nice to know that she can pass horses. She's well connected. 3-1 to me seems a little bit light, but I won't be surprised if she wins.
Not me either. And we'll see. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of killers in here. These horses all have a lot to prove. She ran really well first time out. She actually took money in that race too. And she ran to it, looked really good winning. I know it was on a wet track. So, you have to sort of, factor that into the equation. But I found nothing to knock about her debut.
I wonder in a race with pace, maybe a turnback is the horse you're supposed to follow, a horse that can come from off the pace, and that's the 11 Atomic City for Eddie Keneally. This horse was a debut winner at Churchill. They then tried the Adirondack at Saratoga. They tried the Pocahontas last time out. She made a little bit of a move in that race before flattening out. I think she'll be outrun in the early portion of this race, but maybe this pace starts slowing to a crawl at the 3/16 pole. I could see her come with a kick.
Yeah, and I can see that the way you set up the race, I can see that happening too. And that could really play into her hands. I'll be honest, I didn't love her debut, but she got the job done, and it was going 6 furlongs. It wasn't one of those shorter sprints, and she did have to do some work early in that race. So that was fine. The other 2 races, maybe just a little too tough. This feels like significant class relief for her.
I really like Long Neck Paula's career debut at Churchill way back in May, going 4.5 furlongs. She set the pace in between horses. The next thing you know, she was clear. And then the next thing you know, she was really clear. They ran her in the Schuylerville off a little bit of a layoff. That was a bit disappointing, but she came back to form last time out at Prairie Meadows. She got the win. It had to be a confidence booster. And we'll see if Wesley wants to run her here from post 12. As you mentioned, he has her in against the boys on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know which one he's going to run. Maybe he'll run both of them here. I don't know. He's got them both entered against the boys. But if Long Neck Paula runs here, I agree with everything he said. I really liked her debut. I thought her Schuylerville was fine off of a little bit of a layoff there. Sort of wide in that race. Opening day at Saratoga, you wanted to be up on the pace, and she just couldn't quite get there. Redeemed herself a little bit last time.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Myrtlewood full field of 2-year-old fillies. You're going with White Sands. They got to be aggressive with her. If they do, there's a chance this pace projector is wrong and she's the speed of the speed.
Yeah, I think that's right, Dan. And listen, I know that she probably beat nothing in her first 2 starts. I just like the way that she did it. And again, I hated the ride and the trip that she got last time against better horses.
I'd like to see Dancing Magic maybe settle in sort of mid-pack, 6 lengths off the leader, so the pace should be fast. I like the fact that she had a run at Keeneland already this meet, so she's proven over the surface. She's a decent enough price, and again, if you believe in figures with these early 2-year-olds, she fits. 4-12-3-8 for Mike, 5-6-2-10 for me, $200,000 Myrtlewood, one of 2 stakes at Keeneland on Friday. Good luck. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe button below for more great DRF content, including race of the days, stakes previews, and lots more. You can find it right here.